Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Burns. This is their part number 575 in a 630 finish. This is a wrought doorstop. This would be considered a not economy wall stop, but there are wrought and then there are cast. Wrought are substantially less expensive. The caliber and the thickness of the material that makes up the exposed architectural end of the stop is substantially less expensive. I don't think you'd see wrought doorstops used in libraries or public buildings, things of that nature, nor would you use it in an area that you wanted to have the heaviest duty possible sort of surface-mounted wall stop. But in a wrought stop, you're going to enjoy the ability to have it in architectural finishes. It will be less expensive, and let's face it, how much contact do you really come in with this scalp plate that's here? I don't know how durable that really needs to be when no one's ever going to touch it. So be mindful that you may not need to double the cost to get into a cast process on your stop, and of course it would be cast brass or cast bronze. If you're looking for stainless steel, you'll be doing a wrought product like this. And that's what this is. This is 630. That means it's stainless steel. It means in a brushed finish. It's solid stainless brush finish. Now the 575 series, and it can be done in brass or bronze, and in those finishes, your brass, your bronze, your chrome, satin polished, oil rubbed bronze as well. This is going to be used when you have instances as follows. There are two types of stops in terms of the shape of the bumper. There's concave, and then there's convex. This is obviously concave. You will use a concave bumper when what your point is to apply it to a hardware set that has some sort of locking function where the button can physically be depressed if you were to push the button or push and turn it. The point of that is when the door comes open, you don't want the knob or the lever with its push or push-turn button to hit that convex and then be relocked or pushed back in. That will automatically lock some locks. Even if you were to take the door and pull it closed, it's locked. So this, when you have the button insert into the concave hole, will sidestep that problem of having people unintentionally relock the door when they don't intend to, or intentionally push the button, pull the door closed, haha, now you're locked out. No, that's not cute. So this sort of concave version is what's meant to handle that hardware application. So the overall diameter, they've got 2 3/8 on the paperwork. This is 2 1/2 by my tape measure. They've got a projection of 1 3/16. Overall projection, it's about 1 inch, maybe 1 1/16, with a thickness of the wrought material at about 5/16. Installation of this is pretty simple and straightforward, and they get you started with a plastic anchor and a hollow wall drywall type anchor. This screw is captive back there. Really no elegant way to pull it out, and you shouldn't need to pull it out at all. Simply take your number 2 Phillips and insert it down into that hole that's in the back of the bumper, and then you can see how I move the screw. You will catch the front of that screw with your screwdriver. Now you're ready to roll. Your anchor's in the wall, and then you'll continue the installation process. And that's how these are done. Generally, I don't hear of people installing wall stops with anchors other than something like this. If you had the possibility that there was going to be some sort of vandalism, you might invest into lead anchors and machine screws, which Burns can supply us with the order. But otherwise, plastic anchor or that drywall toggle type anchor is what you'll end up getting. Finally, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Burns products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I'm partial to Burns, and it's because I like their quality of the fit and finish. This material is imported from overseas, as is much of their stuff that they do, but so is everyone's pretty much. The point that differentiates some people from others is there's no dust on this bag. It doesn't look like it's got, a million miles on it. The fit and finish is very good. There are no defects as a result of age or mishandling of the product or poor manufacturing processes. It looks nice. That link below this video to the manufacturer's page will allow you to review all the Burns products we sell. A link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. And if you have more than an occasional need for trim and auxiliary hardware, I would recommend that you review their product line. because they are an independent company of trim and auxiliary hardware in a world full of company owned by company owned by company. And that's not always bad. There are some times when it's not good either, because you do lose, in most instances of these epic situations, you run the risk of the caliber of the individual is no longer someone whose career is spent selling hardware or in the door and hardware industry. The downside of that is some people will not have the ability to really understand the product that you are trying to purchase from them, nor how it's applied. Now, that may not, admittedly, matter so much to you, but I believe that it would. The ability to speak with people who have spent their entire lives, and I think in the case of Burns, more than one generation of manufacturing finished hardware, to me is of value, because with the Amazonification of our culture, there is still a need to speak to experts when it comes to particular hardware, and a lot of trim and auxiliary hardware is made to order, and you need to have an understanding of application, of materials, of manufacturing processes, of finishes. And Burns is a company that can absolutely tie that stuff together for you. So if you have more than an occasional need for trim and auxiliary hardware, look at their book. And if you're doing a project, maybe ask them for a sample. Get your hands on something that might make sense. You know, a wall stop, a roller latch, a pull plate, you know. The question is, where are you going to go for the other stuff? The decorative pull handles that they have there, the ability to do finishing, they can powder coat, so on and so forth. If you have any questions on the Burns number 575 and a 630 finish, or any other Burns product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.